Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy and want to give a big shout out to Local Mike, the cinematographer today. Thank you very much, Local Mike. We are off. It is a little bit after 6 o'clock in the morning, off to Madison Bouckville. The sun is up. I'm sure there's people out there shopping already. Here's one of the problems of doing these things here in the early spring is it is cold out here. But I'm standing out here wearing shorts and a short sleeve shirt because it's supposed to be 70 some degrees today. So I said I'll take a little bit of discomfort early on versus being really uncomfortable a little bit later on as well. Hopefully you're going to be picking up a lot of stuff. And as we've said in previous videos, you can't go into this expecting to get anything. You kind of have to go with the flow and buy what's there. So I can't go in saying, hey, I'm just going to be buying trade cards or I'm just going to be buying magazines, because if they're not there and other great deals are there, you got to buy them. However, my game plan going in is I'm going to be trying to buy a lot of things to be selling to you guys for good prices over on Whatnot. Bundle big piles and sell it over to you Whatnot. Why? We have here in the trusty Rogue 18 boxes of books and 4 bags of books. I actually got those for free yesterday. Can't argue with that price. So Mrs. Papergoy obviously wants to kill me. I don't necessarily want to buy a ton of stuff that's going to clog up the house and take a long time to sell. So I'm kind of going to be more Whatnot centric for a while until at least stuff like this and the other couple of deals that I picked up recently can get gone. So wish me luck. We'll be doing a haul video from out there as well as the stuff that I bought afterwards. A lot of cars going off to work or off to Madison, who knows? And we'll see you from the show. And we are back, and we do not have much of a pile here, as you can see. Sadly, was not a great show. I did pick up a few more things, obviously, than what you see right over here, but really not a lot. I did pick up some books, not really worth showing, but it was kind of interesting. The guy wanted $5 a book, and then he goes, unless you take them all, and then it's $20, and he had about 12 books or something like that. Okay, I think I can do that. So what did we end up picking up? Well, the first thing we picked up over here is why you should know your audience, and this is an H.P. Lovecraft comic book, and I always get people asking me over on Whatnot, anything H.P. Lovecraft, anything H.P. Lovecraft. So I picked this up, this comic book, because again, there have been a lot of requests for H.P. Lovecraft, and they probably do not have this comic, may not even know it exists. So I'll be able to get a little bit of money for this. I only paid $1 for it as well. So that's where you kind of know your audience. And again, we've talked a lot of times about free money. This would be a situation where that is. I know it'll sell over on Whatnot. Another item that I got over here, this was only $1, and I thought this was absolutely beautiful. Lullabies in Jewel Jingles. And it's just really, really pretty. It's got nice illustrations inside as well. So you got to a lot of times go for the things that look really, really nice. And at $1, there's no doubt at all this will sell. Haven't figured out exactly where or how I'm going to sell it, but there's no doubt at all that will sell. Another item I had over here, a gentleman had a few different items, and then this was included in there. Clark's General Supply Catalog. And if you go through it, which is easier said than done, it's got a lot of things in here with stoves and all this kind of stuff. It's from the 1930s and just absolutely great illustrations throughout. And you get one of these are going to be long tail, but you're going to ask something rather like 60, 70 bucks on it. Don't worry about what other people listed for. Show a whole bunch of pictures of the illustrations inside, and you'll end up making your sale. It may take a year or two, but you'll end up getting your price out of it. So that's a nice little item. I walked into one gentleman's booth, and he had a box, and it said $10 for all. And this is all. With that on top, which Mr. Magazine will absolutely love. I saw this, and I literally went like that, and I said, yeah, I can make money off of this. You got a lot of great things in here, Bee Gees and So On Taxi, and just lots and lots of great stuff. I'm not even sure that's Annie. Don't even know what is in here offhand. Three's Company. You're pretty much seeing it the first time, much as I am, Lone Ranger. So to buy a lot like this, a pile like this for $10, that's actually the first issue, if I remember correctly. Really sad if I know that. And so on. To get this entire pile for $10, if you are a reseller and you have an opportunity like that, if you don't take it, you're not a real reseller. Another situation here where I know what people like over on Whatnot. John F. Kennedy. Now this is marked $20, but the gentleman had it in a $3 each, two for $5. So I paid $2.50 for this. I've got at least one active John F. Kennedy buyer over on Whatnot, and I'm hopefully, if a second person decides that they really, really like this, then I'll end up making money on this. But even if I end up losing something or other, I don't like to lose money, obviously, but sometimes it's worth it just to keep the customers coming back, because this person who collects the Kennedy has bought a lot of things throughout the years and goes to all of my auctions. So even again, I think it's going to get a couple of bids. I think I'll make money on it. But even if I were to lose 50 cents on it or something like that, it's worth it to keep the customer happy and keep the customer coming back. But again, that's knowing what the people on Whatnot are looking for. So I mentioned the gentleman with the books and $5 each or $20 if I took them all. And I said, I got to take them for that. And then he goes, oh, you bought these as well. And he started putting magazines in the bag. And I'm, okay, I'm not going to say no. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you this stuff as well. Well, this is what he gave me for free as part of a $20 deal. 1938 item right over here. And then loaded inside of here is a photo, which I don't even know what it is. And I still don't. Singapore. Nice old luggage item right over here from White Star, Cunard White Star, which is very, very popular. And look at these. Hotel Hong Kong, China. So these are going to be for the 1930s. Those are going to be very, very good. And then you have this here passenger list as well. So this was a throw-in. This is 1936. This was a throw-in. And these over here are worth much more than the $20 that I ended up paying for everything. And that's one of the things that I've learned being a dealer, and that you can do as well, is you just say yes. If you see enough stuff for a low enough price, you just say yes. And the guy just wanted the stuff gone. Here, take this, take this, take this. Well, he threw in without me even knowing. Now, had I asked him how much this here was, this probably would have cost me $5 to $10 by itself. Well, I ended up with all the books as well, with a few good books in it too that'll be going over to Whatnot. Didn't really want to buy this. I'm going to try to show it to you without opening it all the way up. That might not be easy to do. Unfortunately, it is torn. I'll show it to you. We'll figure it out later. Unfortunately, it's torn. But this is 1970s underground comic book, before after, Gilbert Shelton. So this would have been sold back in a head shop back in the day. A dealer that I've known from Rochester for a long time goes, hey, you interested? And he shows it to me, and I wasn't particularly interested. And I looked it up online, and it goes for about $100 in nice shape. So with this tear and everything, it's probably still a $40 item, I would think, because it is from the 1970s. He goes, it's yours for $5. I have to buy it for $5. But here's the really, really neat thing over here. Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers before and after poster, rough shape, bought brand new in a Monterey, California comic shop and signed in person, which I did not see a signature, but I'll check, by Gilbert Shelton himself, 1978-79. Lots of pot resin covers this poster from enjoyable display while playing It's a Raid game. So we've got the provenance on it as well. And again, I didn't really take a good look. If it's signed, it's a really, really nice piece worth a lot more. And finally, the last thing of any note that I picked up was this. Yes, I'm buying shoes now. No, this box over here. The dealer had it out and said approximately 200 envelopes with letters and everything inside. World War I, generally speaking, including some Masonic stuff. Now, there are some later and some earlier things. $85. And, the Masonic Club with letters inside, Medford Tent City, a lot of letters inside of these various things. So I'm not exactly sure even what is in here. I said, what's the best you can do on it? She said, can you do 60? I said, yes. And these are the kind of things I absolutely love to bring over to Whatnot, because I don't know what's in here. I generally don't even open them up until we're on air. And the people that are lucky enough to come, if there's something really good in here, end up getting a really good deal. Is that a cute one or what? So I saw these things over here, and I said, this is absolutely perfect Whatnot things. I'm into it right. If there's really 200 of them in here, which I would, she's not going to lie on that. Really cool over here, Army of Occupation from World War I, and so on. So to buy this entire box over here for $60, I cannot go wrong. Who knows what the letters are inside and all that as well. So overall, it was a hot day. There was about 40% of the dealers of the August show, which is about where it should be. There were a few dealers that I generally shop with that did not show up, unfortunately. So it wasn't a great day by any means, but I was able to salvage some good things out of it and make my customers happy, hopefully, and be able to get everything listed. So you'll see after this a bunch of footage from the show as well. And want to thank Local Mike for coming along with me. And we will see you next video. Alrighty, and here we go. We're entering one of the tents over here. Sorry about the camera work. I had to do it myself, and I'm kind of more worried about where it is that I'm walking than I am sometimes the stuff. You got a little bit of everything. You've got a couple of people that basically specialize in carpets. So there you go. You have to use the restroom. One guy's always outside underneath the big tent, gigantic carpets. And I'll tell you this, I always feel a little bit weird when you walk into somebody's booth with carpets, because you know they're for sale, yet they're laid all around and you can't help but step on them. So I don't know if you have that same problem or not. It's kind of weird, and I try to step around them as best as I can, and then I end up doing like I'm doing a lava dance. A lot of interesting stuff throughout, though, table after table. This is the one problem. Sometimes you get stuck behind this guy over here. He and his wife decided, hey, you know where a really good place to talk is? Right in front of Papergoy. They didn't know they'd be immortalized over here on the video. But yeah, so you kind of are seeing a lot of stuff. There's some interesting glassware. I'm just thinking trying to bring that gigantic glassware home, how difficult that'd be, or if you're a reseller trying to pack it. You saw a little bit close. Again, I'm sorry for that there. I'm just trying to get by this guy and don't know how to move my fingers. But here we are back outside. So they only have one giant tent for this part and a lot of smaller things like that. In the fall show, they actually have two tents side by side, two really, really long tents side by side. You got a little bit of everything, including food and lemonade, which is kind of important as well. So this is like the second field over here, again, with lots and lots of stuff. I'm sorry, you're probably getting whiplash there. And again, it's because I try to watch where I'm walking when I'm walking, unfortunately, unlike that gentleman right there. A lot of neat stuff over here, though. And none of these things are laid out in a particular grid pattern, which is always some kind of a problem as well, trying to figure out where you've been, where you haven't been. Now, I'm trying to catch up to this lady because I wanted you to see that beautiful jack-o'-lantern right there that she had bought somewhere or other. Look at that. So you do have a little bit of everything out here as well. And again, this is a much smaller show, about 40% of the size of the show in August. The August show, though, this is only a 3-day show. The August show is 9 to 10 days. So definitely worth coming out to the August show if you never have. Just a lot of stuff over here. Wanted to show you the main street as well. I know you've seen a similar shot many, many times. The big Texaco sign down over at the end is something or other that I've shown in many, many videos. It's kind of the landmark that you get when you're in the area. And here we are inside yet another tent. These are all right along the road. There are all kinds of tents as well. This gentleman here was selling nothing but signs. And here we are walking through one of those other tents as well. So a lot of great stuff. Definitely do come on out and check the auction out. I'm sure you're seeing lots and lots of treasures. And again, not a ton of paper stuff for that I'm showing, because they're just not, there aren't that many paper dealers. And as you saw in the other video, it's not like I got a lot of stuff either. We're not a ton of paper dealers. And there was a dealer right there that never bothered to show up, so they weren't able to rent his spots. But yeah, just a lot of interesting stuff throughout. And again, I'm sorry for the herky jerky. Did not bring Mrs. Papergoy this time. And Local Mike was busy as well. But I want to show you one last thing. Motley Chew.